Hello, I'm Kees. This session is going to be all about upper body mobility. We are going to go over the different joints there are in your upper body and how to increase their mobility. For the first exercise, we're going to talk about the shoulder mobility. I have an exercise I call the spooky shoulder exercise. For this exercise, I'm going to need to take my shirt off, so I will do that first so you can see all the details of what you need to do. For this exercise, you're going to be in this position, and in this position what you want to do is make circles with your upper body without your arms moving. So my arms are going to stay straight. I'm not going to bend my arms, I'm going to have my arms straight. From here I'm going to try to lower my chest like so. And then after I lowered my chest, I'm going to come forward with my chest and then to the top. I'm going to come back, lower, to the front, to the top. And I go over these 4 different positions, time after time. Try to exaggerate the movement. Do the movement as big as possible. This is a good exercise for your shoulders. You do this 10 times to one side and then 10 times to the other side. So now I did it clockwise, now I'm going to go counterclockwise. So I'm going to go down first, then to the back, then up to the front. Down, back, up to the front. And the better you are, or the more fluent, you can try it out for yourself. So it should start to look something like this. You can also play around with this exercise. Make some figure 8s or whatever. The necessity is that your arms are straight and that you find the outer reaches of your shoulder mobility. For the next exercise, it's okay again for me to put my shirt on. Okay, so that was for the shoulders. Now we're gonna go over to the wrists. Wrists also a really important part. This exercise really increased the stability of my wrist and made sure that I also increased on my handstand, in case you find that important. What we're gonna do, we're gonna have our hands on the ground like this. We're gonna make a push-up with our elbows straight. So just like as in the previous exercise, I'm gonna have my elbows straight, and from here I'm gonna push my fingers into the floor, which is gonna make my upper body come up. If this is too easy for you, you can try to walk back with your knees. This is gonna increase the strength that's needed for your hands. If even that is too easy for you, you can try to walk more back, or you can start to do the same exercise on your toes. So from here, this will be even more difficult. And from here, you can also walk back and do the same thing. Yeah? The more you walk back, the harder it becomes. You want to do it 10 times on one side and then also 10 times on the other side. So for the next exercise, I flare my hands inside. So before they were outside, now they are inside. And from here I'm gonna do the same exercise, although this one is much harder. So I have my knees closer to my hands because the exercise is more difficult. From here I'm gonna push again into the ground and lift myself up. Yeah, this exercise, once you walk backwards, because it's too easy, you will find that it becomes increasingly difficult. Like it becomes very difficult very fast. So be careful with this exercise, but it's a great one to strengthen the muscles here on the outside. We're gonna do this for 10 times as well. Yes. Very good. And now after this exercise, I'm gonna stand up. Like I said, make sure that, that you work on your wrist. It's very important. Okay, I'm gonna stand up now. For the next exercise, also we have a spine in our back, which needs to be loose and fluent. If it's too stiff, then you don't know how to move properly. You lack on creativity. Well, you maybe not lack the creativity, but you don't have the body to perform the creativity that you might want to use it for. So a good way to loosen up your spine is through spinal waves. I always envision a wall in front of me. I'm going to try to touch that wall with different body parts. Let's say the wall is about a hand away from my feet, and I try to touch it with my nose, after that with my chin. And after the chin, I try to touch it with my chest, with my belly, and with my pelvis. And after I'm touched it with my pelvis, you see that my nose is all the way to the back. So I have a nice curve in my spine. Okay, after I'm at the bottom, I'm gonna start all over again. I'm gonna touch it with my nose, with my chin, with my chest, with my belly, and with my pelvis. And now I'm gonna try to make it as fluent as possible. So nose, chin, chest, belly, pelvis. Nose, chest, belly, pelvis. And this will really loosen up your spine. And again, like with every exercise, guys, if you know a slight alternative to it, please feel free to use it. So if you can go slightly more to one side, slightly more to the other side, it's very good. Make sure you do this for about a minute. And then after that, you can do it also the other way around. So you can start from your hips, then to your belly, chest, chin and nose. Pelvis, belly, chest, chin and nose. So you also do it the other way around. In case you have back pain, this is really gonna help you. It's a great exercise to loosen everything up in the lower back, in the upper back. I do this all the time, even though it looks funky. But well, sometimes we need to look funky, as well as with the next exercise. For this exercise, you're gonna need a stick. I have a stick, but it can be part of your mop or whatever. Anything that is about this height and that you can hold, that is steady, because we're gonna put some weight on the stick. This exercise will be mostly for your shoulders and a little bit for your wrists and elbows. But what is important is that you don't cheat too much. So if I put too much strength on my legs during this exercise, then my shoulder won't have the benefits that I actually wanted to have. So I'm gonna try to use as less legs as possible and use as much arm. So what does the exercise look like? I'm gonna lower myself as low as possible. And then from here, I'm gonna try to lift my up by my hand, like so. So it's pretty much like a pull-up, but then only with the stick, and you will find that you can get into different positions than with an actual pull-up. So yeah, it's almost the same, but still different benefits. So we're gonna try to lower ourselves, go into a good stretch of the shoulder, and now pull ourselves up. We're gonna do this 10 times on one side, and then 10 times on the other. Try to use as much of your arm as possible, and as few of your legs as possible. Also play with different positions. For example, thumb down, like so. And if you do the exercise from here, you will find different benefits than with the thumb up. If you have more or different variations than this, please let me know. We're gonna do the same on the other side, like I said before. Thumb up, We're gonna lower ourselves and pull ourselves up by our hands. So try to use as little leg as possible. Really feel like a grandpa who can't use his legs anymore, but can only use his arms. Pull yourself up in this position. Try to feel the stretch down here, and then as you feel the stretch, you come up. You want to be as deep as possible. Again, also here, I tried with the thumb downwards. I mostly do 10 times with the thumb up, and after that 10 times with the thumb down. Okay, very nice. Last exercise. It's gonna be on the floor again. It's a roll over your head. We do a dynamic roll because it's never good to have too much tension on your neck for too long. But since you do anyway in breaking, you better want to be conditioned well at it. So for this exercise, at the start you might not be able to do it, but it's very but you want to work towards this goal. What is the goal? Keep your feet at the floor at all times while you roll to the side. So from here I'm gonna roll to my shoulder, but my feet stay on the ground, and I'm gonna roll to the other side in the seated position again. I'm gonna roll to the other side again, feet stay on the ground. We go further with the exercise. We keep rolling away like so. That's the danger of this roll, that your audio plugs out. So I hope that you heard what I wanted to say, is that if you can't touch your feet on the floor, then it's also okay to have them up in the air like this. But you want to try and keep them on the floor. It's going to increase your spine and neck mobility. Yeah? Okay. That was the workout, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next session.
Beat sexuell.